What's going on, Willowbrook? Today we have read Exodus chapter 6, verses 10 through 27. And as I read that, I was reminded of times in my life when God has graciously and generously reassured me of his plan despite my own doubts. At this point in the story, Moses has been called by God, yet he doubts him. He gives him excuses. God gives him reassurance and support in Aaron. Even as Moses still doubts his own ability, God helps him even when he does not have to. But he knows we need it sometimes. And I'm reminded of Psalm 103, 13 and 14, which says, "As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. For he knows what we are made of, remembering that we are made of dust." We're just dirt. He knows us, and he knows what we need when we need it. Sometimes we need assurance. Just like a good father knows what's good for their children, God knows what's best for us. And earlier in this chapter, Moses is rejected by Pharaoh for his plea to let Israel go. And even the people of Israel have their own doubts about Moses and his position as their leader. Their spirits were broken. They labored hard in their captivity. But thankfully, God reassures Moses in this chapter, and he recommissions him for the task of leading his people out of bondage. And Moses is worried. He's worried since his own people won't even listen to him. How then will Pharaoh, king of Egypt, listen to his plea for freedom? Truthfully, it doesn't matter who we think will or won't listen. What matters is obedience, no matter how things might be received. And when we obey God, it's hard not to focus on immediate results or instant deliverance from a certain situation. Sometimes it takes time, God's time, to work things out so that the ultimate result, God's result, is achieved. And a good leader will focus on obedience to God rather than be discouraged or distracted by temporary setbacks. And we should lead like this. And if we're following our leaders, we should follow with these things in mind. And as we continue reading and move through these verses, we see a genealogy that firmly establishes Moses and Aaron as God's chosen instruments for his purpose. And this was a way commonly used to clarify authority and the order of things and keep track of family history. And so after clarifying here in the scriptures and stating that it was this Moses and Aaron that God was using, it says in verses 26 and 27, it says, "It was this Aaron and Moses whom the Lord told, 'Bring the Israelites out of the land of Egypt according to their military divisions.'" And essentially, as they were leaving, they were to be brought out as an army, organized in that fashion by families and clans, etc. So then we get to verse 27, which says, Moses and Aaron were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, in order to bring the Israelites out of Egypt. Now, God has reassured and recommissioned Moses in his task, given him, firmly establishing him and pressing this reset button just to recalibrate and recenter him and his duties and what he's called to do. And sometimes God recalibrates our own lives. Maybe it's a difficult situation or a frustrating relationship or during a season of doubt or even at a time of loss. But sometimes he does it clearly. Sometimes we just read his word and it recalibrates us and we hear from him on what we should do. And as we live each day, we should pay attention to these moments and ways God is gently or even loudly or forcefully reassuring us and recommissioning us for our own task. He's gracious to do this for us. Let's be thankful for times when that happens. Let's obey no matter what the result of what we see going on around us. I hope you remember these passages and principles today and in the days to come. Join me in striving for this type of obedience each and every day. I know it's a struggle. It's a struggle for me. But I pray that you and I will be obedient to God no matter what. Have a great day.